right. Now, we are in an era where every child wants to be on social media, creating social media accounts. Every child is on TikTok. Every child is on Instagram, Facebook. As a matter of fact, for parents, these days, children are the ones teaching their parents what is happening online. They have the latest apps and they know how to use ChatGPT. Yes. For those of the parents that don't know how to use ChatGPT, ask your children. They now know how to use ChatGPT. Now, we're going to be discussing something very interesting because the topic today is balancing traditions with technology. And we have Yetty Williams here with us to discuss that one for parents. Now, she is a social entrepreneur, digital parenting coach, business mentor, and she's also an author. She's been on the show for like 2 weeks now, and we're having an interesting topic. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I can tell you are great. You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Morning. Now, the topic is balancing traditions in the digital age for children. Where did we get it wrong? Let's start from the origin. Where did parents really get it wrong? Because these days, I remember growing up as a child, my parents would always send me out to play with my friends, would go out to be in the playground, and then would even make a cut chin-chin together. This was something I always wanted to do. But now I go to have a party with my friend, everyone's on their phone. I go out to church, everybody's on their phone. I have a discussion, everyone on their phone. They rather chat than meet in person. You go to a party, and everybody's taking videos with their phone. No one's really chatting or even having a proper conversation one-on-one anymore. Where did we get it wrong? What is the origin of all this?
The origin of all of this is the introduction of smartphones, first of all.
Okay.
Then the introduction of social media, and it being introduced and everybody getting access to it before we fully understood the implications. So as humans, we have been here much, much longer than technology has been.
True.
We're in the fourth industrial revolution, which is, the age of digital and all of that. However, what has happened is this is a huge human experiment.
True.
This is the first time we've all had these powerful devices in our hands. And now when you look around the world, they're starting to put regulations in place.
Okay.
So certain schools, certain countries are starting to ban phones, are starting to ban social media from very young children.
Yeah.
So where have we gotten it wrong is that we all got hooked on these devices, not knowing that it's tearing away the human connection.
All right, I was reading an article about a young guy who said that he believes that the best thing for a child is to avoid having a phone or even going on seeing a screen till they're like 3, 4, 5. And he said, I don't know how sure or true this is, but he said that there are reports that says the brain of a child functions better when they're away from screen at a very young age. You're a professional. How true is this?
Absolutely. So I've mentioned it as well on the show that, the advice, the recommendation is that children 24 months and younger, so that's 2 years old and younger, should have no screen time. No screen time at all. And that if they're going to use screens, the type of screen they should be using is a video call. Why is that important? They are interacting with somebody on the other side. But you see that passive consumption of just sitting and consuming content where you're not engaging, it doesn't help a growing child. And in the early years, that's when their brains are still forming. They're learning language, cognition, skills like that are so critical. And we're finding that teachers in the early years are saying children are starting school nowadays and they don't have as many words as they should because people are not talking to them. They're all behind a screen. So that's some of the things of what we have gotten wrong is thinking that technology, because it's the way forward, everybody deserves or should have access to screens, when that's not actually accurate.
All right, you just mentioned one of the disadvantages. I am sure, based on your experience, that there are other disadvantages that parents are really not aware of. Yeah. Would you like to bring that to light?
Yeah, so some of it, with the topic we're talking about today around tradition, some of it is that because growing up, who was your biggest source of information?
My parents.
Most of us was our parents.
Now my mom. With belts. She would say it and use belts to put it inside. To reinforce. Right? Exactly. She would use belts to do that.
Exactly. However, we live in a world now where most children's influence is no more just their parents. And when parents recognize that your children don't need you for content, they need you for context. That's what I tell people. So your children don't need you for info. What they need you for is the context around what they are seeing online. So our children are exposed to billions of people's opinion online every single day. When you think of it that way, you recognize that when you say tradition, culture, what is it? If our children are in a global world where your child can be in GRE, Ikeja, but their mindset is fully Australian or American because that's the content they're consuming all the time.
I mean, there are different forms of content these days. And I am just thinking if we have apps and we have pages on social media that helps imbibe culture in tradition, wouldn't that help in a certain way. For example, if there are apps that teach languages, if there are apps that maybe even help influence the child on moral values and all the rest, don't you think that would help in any way?
So I don't believe that technology is good or bad.
Okay.
I don't think social media is good or bad. It is both. It's really about making sure that we're exposing our children at the right time, in the right quantity, in the right way. And when you teach them how to use it for good, there are so many benefits. So for example, today is World Youth Skills Day. So if you recognize your child has a particular skill, you are able to use technology to improve it. So imagine your child loves cooking. You could watch TV shows.
Yes, like this one. Like this one, yes. If you
go.
love cooking, you can watch this one.
But really, you can look at that. You can use ChatGPT to come up with ingredients or different ways to do it with a twist, and then go and buy those things together in the shop. Come home, make it together. That's a beautiful way of blending online content and in-person interaction.
Exactly.
So I think it's important for us to all sit back and say this tech is not all bad, but it's really about if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable.
True. Now, my worry is the shift.
Yeah.
I am speaking about the parents who are probably watching the show right now, and they're already saying, oh, my child started watching screen. As a matter of fact, my child would cry if he doesn't watch a particular series. I know of a friend of mine, or not really a friend, but he would always tell me about this series that's happening every time. He would call me or send me a message on WhatsApp and say, oh, don't miss this particular series, because his children love watching that series. But I'm just wondering, how do parents who are already in this fix, how do they have that shift? What are the steps to take, to have a better arrangement for their kids? What should they start doing?
Every family needs a digital well-being plan, which means you need to have a plan. If your children are 3 years and younger, 2 years and younger,
this plan you speak of, sorry for cutting you there, but this plan you speak of, when is the best time to have this plan? Before marriage, before childbirth, just after childbirth? When is the best time to have a sit down as partners to say, let us agree on these things? When is the best time to?
So I think to answer that question, in the world we live in today, right from when you're dating.
From when you're dating?
Because think about it, everybody has a digital habit.
Okay.
A lot of relationships are struggling because most people can't do what we've just done now, to just talk and look in each other's eyes and have a conversation without something would have interrupted by now.
True.
So all of those things are micro tears that are affecting relationships altogether. So if that's what you are used to, you get married, you start a family, that's what you bring into your home. Your child will see mom and dad at the table always using their phones. So that's why I say the best time is to start when you are aware that, you know what, I need to be in control of my tech use, otherwise it will control me. You start to form it bit by bit. Then as you become a family, before your children, you should have rules around that. We don't use it in the bedroom, for example. We don't use it at dinner time. When we go to a movie, we're not using our phones. Little things like that. So when your children come, you start to have the plan. Prior to this age, no screens. When they have screens, we're going to monitor it. Only 1 hour. And then you must have areas in your house and times in your house you don't use screens.
Wow.
And that's for everybody. And I think meal times is one of the best times to not use your phone.
A friend of mine told me one time, she said she doesn't understand the logic behind having a television in the bedroom. What do you think about that? Is it wrong to have a television in the bedroom?
I agree. I don't think so. A bedroom should be a place of rest and other things.
Yeah, but you just want to rest sometimes and then, binge watch your favorite series.
See the word you use, binge watch. By default of binging, we're all forming a dependency on screens. And once you wire your brain to be dependent on screens, it's very difficult to undo it. And that's where a lot of our children are struggling.
True.
If you teach a child, take screen, you've wired their brain that every time they're bored, every time they throw in tantrum, they get a screen. That's what they're going to learn.
True.
And then suddenly you have a problem later. They have struggles with attention. They can't do anything else. Whose fault is it? It's not the child.
It's
the
parents.
adults around.
Hey, finally, I also want to find out, based on your experience as well, when is the best time for a child to have a phone? When is the best time for a child to have a phone? Because I know parents that have told their kids, until you're done with your certain thing, I will not buy you a phone, and they're complaining, my friends already have phones. I mean, peer pressure would come in. But when is the best time? When is the adequate or the right time to get a phone for a child?
First of all, there are two types of phones. There's dumb phone and there's smartphone.
Okay. I'm sure that the children, I'm sure they will not agree with you. What you're about to say, they will say, All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
But the truth is, once you give your child a smartphone, you've unleashed a level of power that you cannot take back. So my advice to parents is delay as long as you can. For a smartphone, ideally, if you can wait, push it to 16. Perfect. I know
16. Woo,
but I know it's difficult. But if you start maybe secondary school, you're 13, but then you are easing the child in bit by bit. Get them a dumb phone first, like text, and then little by little. But I would say nothing earlier than 13, 14.
All right, that's quite interesting. I'm sure that my cousin at home would not agree, and he would probably say he needs a phone even when he's 7. But thank you so much, because you are the experts. You know these things. You have the experience as well. First of all, thank you for being on the show. We're super excited. I am sure that I'll probably get your number so that we can continue this, and I can be showing my cousin, look how the experienced person said, do. All right. It's been an interesting time so far. The show continues, guys. Do not go anywhere. And please, for parents that are watching right now, it is very important that you take good time to control what your children are exposed to. It would really help them. Yes, the show continues. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere, please.